Hi everyone, my name is Catherine Longy. I am an HR consultant and an independent consultant with Arbonne International. I am so excited because it's December, the Christmas trees are going up, it's getting frosty and cold, and I just want to hole up in my cozy flat with you online. So it's a wonderful time of year for friends and family and really just going inside yourself and reconnecting, and it's just a great time of year. I love it. So we are going to be together for the next hour on our Fitness Before Christmas workshop. And I have some exciting things that I want to share with you. So without further ado, let's just get straight into the content. So just a little bit about me and my journey and why fitness before Christmas is such a passionate topic of mine. I grew up as a ballerina in Cumberland, Maine, USA. And as a ballerina, it's such a passion of mine. Absolutely loved it. And growing up in the ballet world, there's a lot of inspiring athletes, these incredible women and men who just are sculpting their bodies and pushing their bodies to the absolute limit. And one of the things that comes out from that when you're a ballerina or an artist or in a profession or an art where your body is your tool and your vehicle for your expression and your art form, a lot of pressure comes with that. And although I was very fortunate to dance with Portland Ballet Company in Maine, USA, when I would go away to ballet camps in the summer, I would observe a lot of unhealthy behavior around food and around body image, eating disorders, and some just really sad things. And I was really fortunate to be raised by a nutritionist mother. That's her, Susan Poisey McKenney, in the bottom corner. And through the fact that at home I had a positive role model and a mother who was really pushing the fruit and veg and really trying to keep her children healthy, was a really fortunate influence on me. And when I was 16, that was when I had my first body image awareness negative thing going on. I had gone away to a ballet camp and I'd put on 10 pounds. So it was a combination of eating cafeteria food, puberty, adolescence, changing, and some medication that I was taking. So the sum total of these things all together, I just ballooned out one summer. So my mother gave me this book by Deborah Waterhouse called Outsmarting the Female Fat Cell. And through that, I learned to eat only when I'm hungry and to stop when I'm no longer hungry. Sounds simple, right? It should be. This is called what we now call, this was in the 90s, but now we call this intuitive eating. It's what we do as children. It's how we're born. When we're born, we eat when we're hungry. We stop when we're not. It's only through being conditioned to eat 3 meals a day and being society and familial conditioning that we actually stop eating intuitively. And this is where the problems come in. And this is why we're now facing a global obesity epidemic, because we're not eating what's natural to our bodies. So through that education, those lessons really, and I could eat anything I wanted. There was no restriction. So, if I was hungry, I'd eat some ice cream. And I'd stop eating ice cream when I wasn't hungry anymore. And that worked for me. In fact, when I was 35, I held the office record for eating the most number of Krispy Kremes in a day. I ate 7 in one day because I ate them when I was hungry, and I only ate one at a time. And I think I ate one on the hour, every hour through that work day. And I was kind of like a fat, skinny person. I might have been thin on the outside, but I was really, really unhealthy on the inside. I am absolutely disgusted to remember that that's how I used to eat. So when I was 35, I quit my corporate job, but I started my own business, and I decided that I needed to get healthy. inside and out. And that I was reading biographies of Richard Branson and all these amazing entrepreneurs who would spend 3 hours a day working out, and they'd only maybe quote unquote work as we think of work for maybe 5 or 6 hours a day, and they're billionaires. So this is obviously working for them. So I decided that I would really look into my health, and I picked up a book called The Virgin Diet by J.J. Virgin, and this book again transformed the way I was eating. And because I hadn't looked, the last time I'd really looked at my health and nutrition was 20 years ago, it was a bit time to update and refresh the lessons that I had learned from Deborah Waterhouse. The J.J. Virgin diet, or the J.J. Virgin way of eating, as I'm going to call it, is all about testing different food groups that are the highest allergenic foods that we know of. So I tested how my body reacted to dairy, gluten, sugar, soy, peanuts, corn, and a seventh thing that I can't remember. And through testing these different groups, I learned that dairy and gluten and sugar really do not agree with me. So getting those foods, those allergens out of my system meant that all of a sudden my body was free of these irritants, of these things that were really, really irritating my body. So like I just lost 10 pounds, which I didn't even know I had 10 pounds to lose. I lost 10 pounds. I stopped having chronic headaches. I stopped having chronic backaches. I started sleeping like a baby. I'm not going to get really gross, but my waste elimination was beautiful. And it was all through getting rid of the dairy, gluten, and sugar in my diet. Now that's just what worked for me. That's just what my body didn't want to have in its system. And it might be different things for you, but each of us is different. We have our own different body chemistry. And through learning that those food groups didn't work for me, I got rid of them out of my system. And I show you this picture of me and my mom because that was probably when I was at one of my heavier weights 3 or 4 years ago. And you can see my face is just really, really round, just have a round face. And so through the J.J. Virgin diet, like just shedding those 10 pounds, the photograph of me dancing, I actually put my point shoes back on. I actually started getting back into ballet classes after 10 years of not going because I just didn't want to look at myself in the mirror. But transforming my body in this way made me revisit my passion of ballet and engage with that again, which was just such a wonderful feeling. So that's the background that I come from. That's why I'm so passionate about this topic. And that's what I hope that I can help deliver for you. So I want you to think about, what is your body's paradigm? I mean, really, what is your body for? What is its purpose? What is it here to do? And what does how you treat it say about that? So maybe, you're not ready to say, well, my body is a temple, my body is a gorgeous goddess, wonderful thing. But look at how you treat your body. Look at what you put in your body. Look at how you, run your body through the workday, look at what you put it through. And through your behaviors, what is that telling you actually about your beliefs of your body? What is the paradigm, the mindset that you come from with your body? I just love this lady. I found this on the internet. I just love this image because I just think this woman is beautiful. She's a sculpture, and seeing her from different angles, to me, she's a goddess. And when it comes to my own body, I didn't used to think anything about my body at all. In fact, it wasn't even on the radar. And then I realized that the way I treat my body is a case for my soul, for what I'm here to do. And if I'm not thinking about my body at all, if it's an afterthought, I'm not taking care of like the most important thing. It doesn't matter what's going on out here. I can have the best intentions to want to transform the world and transform women. And I can think these thoughts that are good thoughts. But if I don't have a healthy body, I can't take those thoughts and put them into action. And if I can't put it into action, I can't do anything. There's no point to it. So have a think about what your body means to you. And if you might want to change that belief, if you might want to think, actually, I haven't thought about my body, but it is a thing. And how do I envision it? Is it a temple, like Chichen Itza in Mexico? Is it a castle like Buckingham Palace? That's how I like to think of my body, as a castle. Is your body, I don't know, a beautiful butterfly that's, flying around the world, making people happy? Like, what is the casing that your body represents to you, and what do you want that to be? And more concretely, in your body, what is it that you're looking for to get out of your body, or what is your vision for your body? So how would you like your body to feel? Would you like to have more energy? Would you like it to feel lighter, like it's processing energy better, that it's more energetic? Would you like it to feel actually more stable, more grounded, stronger? What does that feel like? And what do you want your body to do? Do you want it to go and run a half marathon for charity? Do you want it to, get you to and from the office every day in the happiest way possible? Do you want it to give birth to another life? Like, what do you want it to be able to do? And how does that reflect what you're meant to bring here? So these are kind of deep questions. I know you're probably thinking, I just came on to lose a few pounds. Why are you talking about this? Because it's really important to get your why. Because if you want to change anything about your body or your health, you need to have a reason. If it's just because you think you should, I should lose 10 pounds, then that's not going to be inspiring. You're not going to lose 10 pounds because there's no purpose. There's no power behind it. On the days that the Krispy Kremes are staring in front of you, you're going to eat them because that's not a very strong, just because you should lose 10 pounds isn't like a strong enough reason for you to motivate you to take the actions that you need to do to lose the 10 pounds. I'm sure you've been at least on one diet before in your life before you came on this call tonight. And how did that work for you? If you were successful in it, what made it successful? And if you weren't successful in it, what didn't make it successful? And I would guess that if you weren't successful, it probably had something to do. With you didn't have a powerful enough why. The two examples that I gave at the beginning of the call in terms of 2 points in my life where I transformed my body. The first, my why there was because it had become completely untenable for me to be carrying an extra 10 pounds as a 16-year-old ballerina. It wasn't working. It wasn't working carrying this extra weight. Like my clothes fit different. They had to take costumes fit different. I couldn't look at myself, I couldn't look at myself in the mirror anymore. It was just completely destroying my ability to express myself through my favorite art form. And the second time around, it was because I decided if I was going to seriously give up the stability of getting a steady paycheck from a corporate job, and I was going to go out on my own, start a business, something I had never done before, I had to take care of myself, because all of a sudden, overnight, I was the most important asset in my business. And that asset had to be in tip-top shape. to perform in what I expected it to do. So look at your why, think about it, and keep it as an active discussion, an active thought as we continue throughout the call. So what's holding you back? What are your excuses that you're giving yourself? Well, I don't have enough time to get into shape. I don't have enough money because food costs money and plans cost money and books cost money. It costs money. I don't have money. Maybe it's not a priority. And that's okay too. If you don't do anything at the end of this call today, that's great too. Is it that you don't think you're good enough, or you don't deserve the body of your dreams, or you think you deserve the Krispy Kreme or the temptation, and that temptation is what's going to make you happy, and that eating that Krispy Kreme is going to make you happier, at least in the short term, than you can't see the long term. You don't see how that short term indulgence is derailing you from a long term happy, healthy body that's going to really enrich your life. So whatever your excuse is, just put it to the side for a second. Just pretend for the rest of this call that you have all the time in the world, you have all the money in the world, it's your number one priority, and you're good enough, and you deserve to have the body of your dreams. Just carry that out. Carry that out for the rest of the call. So now I'm just going to give you some hints and tips in different areas that you can look at, because at the end of this call, you might not want to just go and change everything about what you're doing, but there's at least a couple of things that you can do, and you can pick from any of these hints and tips what you want to implement that's going to start you on the path to transforming your body. So starting with nutrition, here's what I do. Because I work a full-time job, a part-time business, I have a husband, and I have hobbies and a life. So with all of that, I don't want to spend a lot of time cooking. It's just not a priority for me. So in order that I can get as much, the best nutrition as possible in the easiest way possible for the least amount of money as possible, what I do is I have two of my meals a day are in a NutriBullet smoothie. You can see the image here. And so I get in my breakfast smoothie and my lunch smoothie a powerhouse of fruit and veg and nut protein, coconut water, as well as vegan protein as well. So 2 out of 3 of my meals a day are in a NutriBullet. I make them the evening before and put them in the refrigerator. I take them out in the morning. I zhuzh both of them. I drink one. I throw the other in the bag. Easy peasy. Off I go to work. And this works really well for me. It takes, I do my shopping twice a week for the ingredients. It doesn't cost me any more than, in fact, it's a little bit less than buying a lunch out, a sandwich or a soup or something. So there's a little bit of a cost savings. I use Great Nutrition. I use the Arbonne Essentials protein powder, which you can't see because it's a little bit blurry. But that's my vegan protein nutrition. And in one of my smoothies a day, I'll also supplement with the Arbonne Greens Balance. So in one scoop of this, even if I've got a handful of spinach, 1 scoop of this is a couple of servings of veg. So it's just condense all my nutrition into the smallest common denominator, make it really easy, make it cost effective, zhuzh, 2 a day, off I go. And then in the evenings, I'll prepare something simple like a salad, just throw in 5 or 6 ingredients, or I'll have some sushi out, just really, really simple. And with the supplements, I can sort of supersize, no pun intended, no reference to McDonald's, but I can get maximum nutrition in a really small quantity so that I'm really maximizing that. And here's some hints around fitness as well. So they've done studies. We used to think, this is particularly from the 90s, we used to think that we had to do cardio for like 40, 50, 60 minutes. And it was all about getting your heart rate up into the fat burning zone, but not the cardio zone, and going for like long, slow and long is what the science said. And actually, since then, research has been done, and now the rise of circuit training is the new that. So doing circuits, which is like really intense activity for a short period of time, followed by a bit of a slower activity, followed by another spurt and a slower activity. So for example, you could do this with run walking. So if you just sprint as fast as you can for 30 seconds, like walk it out for a minute, sprint as fast as you can for 30 seconds, walk it out for a minute. If you do that in 10, do a 5-minute warm up, 5-minute cool down, in 10 to 20 minutes, you can actually get a really powerful workout for no longer than 20 minutes. And if you do this a couple of times a week and start to build on it to every day, get this into your morning routine, it will make you feel amazing. If you don't want to go outside because it's cold, you can actually just do this in your living room, like by doing a little like run in place as fast as you can, jump and jack it out for a minute, run as fast as you can in place for 30 seconds, jump and jack it out for a minute. Like there's ways that you can evolve this with different activities. So from run walking to, if you do have fitness machinery, you could do this as elliptical. You could do this, in a variety of different ways. So even just getting 10 to 20 minutes a day, you'll get amazing benefits out. So you don't need to think of exercise as like, oh, I've got to exercise. It's at least an hour out of I don't have an hour. Like just get a little bit in and try to have it as frequently as possible. And that little bit will get you a maximum result. Personally, myself, I do 10 minutes of yoga every single morning, not negotiable. Even if I have to get up for like a 4 a.m. flight, that is like my minimum level of activity. On the weekends, I'll go for like a half an hour run. I'll do a 3-mile run. I'll go horseback riding, which is a new hobby of mine, on a Sunday. And I'm introducing running to work starting from next week. And so it's just about implementing like a little bit. If you just, every week introduce a new thing into your routine, whether it's a nutrition thing, a fitness thing, if you just start to introduce these tips into your life, over time they become a habit. And then you can take on a new thing, and that becomes a habit. Then you can take on another new thing. And slowly over time, you will see amazing results. Like you'll just wake up one day 6 months later and go, oh, I guess it's working. Because you might not see from day to day those little bits, but it all adds up. In fact, it took my husband 6 months to realize I had lost 10 pounds. And I know that sounds kind of funny because we live together and you're like, how would you not notice that? But you don't tend to notice a little bit of change over time until he kind of looked at me one day and he went, get on the scale. And he's a marathon runner. So he's very into fitness. So he's even into the minute details. So like I got on the scale, I showed him I lost 10 pounds. He took my body mass index. Which showed that I had lost 8% body fat, like a significant amount of body fat. And he went, oh, very good results. But he didn't see that result along the way. It was like one day, 6 months later, he was like, hey, let me measure your results, because actually now I can see, comparing me to 6 months ago. He got the image of me from 6 months ago and realized I looked quite different than 6 months ago. And we took the measure and it turned out to be a great result. So a little bit every day goes a long mile. And finally, for immunity. So I know with winter, it's cold, people around you are sniffling. Here's the thing about disease. It's a state of mind. You're saying, wait a minute, Catherine, but having a sniffly nose and coughing are very real symptoms. That is how you're experiencing it, but you can actually change your mind about it. You can actually decide not to be sick. This works a little bit better as a prevention. I know it's harder for you to believe me when you're in the middle of illness, but try implementing this whilst you're well. When people around you are all sniffly and you're observing, when you start to observe disease around you, we oftentimes go, ooh, I don't want to get sick. I once heard it said that being afraid of something or wishing something not to happen is like a reverse prayer. So it's like praying for it to happen. If you're like, oh, everyone's sick around me and I'm going on an airplane and these people on the London Underground tube, they're all sneezing around me. Oh, people in the office. Oh, I don't want to get sick. I don't want to get sick. You will get sick. It's like certain. So I want you to go through your day, go through your life, and when you observe people who are ill, it's not about you, and you're not going to get sick. In fact, you can have compassion and kindness for those that, gosh, I feel you're suffering. I'm really sorry about that. And give them some chicken noodle soup or whatever in your culture helps heal others. Give them immunity boost from Arbonne, which are these little sachets, like jam-packed full of vitamins and minerals in a really concentrated little pouch. And, hand those out. They're amazing. I love them. Sometimes I'll put them in my smoothies too, just for like an extra boost of nutrition. I'm using them for nutritional purposes as opposed to, I believe I won't get sick if I have these purposes. But if I'm doing it for that, like I won't get sick, placebo effect. If I'm like, oh, I'm going to take care of myself, I'm adding one of these sachets into my smoothie, I'm doing something nice for myself. I'm not going to get sick. And I really believe it. And I haven't had a cold in 18 months. I haven't had a cold since this new way of eating that I was sharing with you. So I invite you to take on the mindset of, I'm not getting sick. I am healthy and life is abundant and it's amazing and I can serve others and help them, support them in their illnesses. I am not getting sick. I invite you to take it on. Take it on. I'm not getting sick. So I wanted to share with you a program that we offer in Arbonne called the 30 Days to Healthy Living and Beyond. So everything I've shared with you so far today is based on my own, I read this book, I tried this, I read this other book, I tried that. And those things really worked for me. Because of my background with a nutritionist mother, I came to those programs with like a basic level of understanding of nutrition. So I had the motivation, the knowledge, to put those things into practice for myself. But if you feel like you would like more structure, day one eat this, day two eat that, and you would like a community around you, this is a really great program. So it's called 30 Days to Healthy Living and Beyond. And there are some nutritional supplements and some products from Arbonne that you can purchase in order to help you with this program. It goes for 30 days and it's called 30 Days to Living and Beyond because it's actually about habit forming. In 30 days, you can form great habits and actually carry on this program beyond that. It also comes with support. So there's always people doing this. In fact, I'm going to start one in January myself. So there's a community of people who are doing it. And when you're doing it with others and not doing it alone, that gives you extra support. So if you're interested and you'd like to find out more, just post in the Facebook group or get in touch with me and let me know. So there's also structure if you feel like you need structure. And this is a great alternative to that. And then finally, how to avoid hashtag awkward. So we're going into Christmas season and inevitably, you're going to be tempted. Friends and family, colleagues like these ones here are going to invite you to drink, usually binge drink, to eat mince pies and really, really unnutritious things. So in order to help you steer through how to navigate these cultural situations, I invite you to really think about everything that we've covered so far today, especially your body paradigm. How do you see your body and what do you want for it? What does it serve you? And coming from that place of it serving you, how do you want to treat it this holiday season? So is the pressure of somebody handing you a glass of champagne and, oh, I don't know if I should drink this, like, either decide, okay, I'm going to have one and I'm going to enjoy this one, or decide you're not drinking and just say, thanks very much, Aunt Sally. I'm actually not going to drink this Christmas season. And yeah, that might invite, ooh, what's going on? You're doing something different that people don't normally do. Like, oh, it's different. How do we deal with this? And just say, thanks, Aunt Sally. I'm really great. Like, I'm really happy not drinking, and I really appreciate you supporting me in this. And your friends and family love you. If they're pressuring you to drink or to eat, that's probably more about them because they feel like they need to eat and drink. And if they feel like they need to eat and drink to escape whatever pain or suffering that's going on in their lives, ask them about it. So Aunt Sally, like, what's going on with you? How's life with you? And, steer the conversation back to Aunt Sally and away from, why you're not accepting her glass of champagne. If it's an event like an office Christmas party, or like you are going into a place where it's going to be absolute nutritional suicide, set some ground rules, set some parameters for yourself. So whether it's you have one drink, and then you switch to water, which if you put some ice cubes and some limes in it can look very much like a vodka tonic. You can publicly declare you're not drinking, or you can, make a little bit of an appearance like you are without actually bringing it up. So you can decide how open you want to be about the parameters that you're setting for yourself. Get a buddy. I've done this before in the past where I've buddied up with a lady and I was just like, look, Megan, let's help sisters. Let's help each other out here. Where we agreed together how we would support each other and we set the parameters. So in that one that I can think of from a few years ago, it was we were alternating one alcoholic drink and one water. And we would alternate who would get the drinks. Like I was getting the alcohol, she was getting the water. So we were like, okay, we've had a drink. All right, so you get the water. We'd have a glass of water. Then I'd be like, okay, we're going back. Let's go have another drink. I'd go get the alcohol. So, so over the course of like a 5 or 6 hour event, we only had 3 drinks, which is as much as I would ever want to have, which is already way more than I would ever have anyway. But we were able to do it in such a way that we had a great time. We were participating in this event. We were getting a little bit tipsy, a little bit of fun. But like I woke up the next morning like 90% instead of 100%. Like I only, was a little bit thirsty the next morning as opposed to being absolutely, I can't move, I have a headache, I might be sick, which is just not a great place. So decide what your parameters are. Get a buddy if it's going to help you. And finally, plan out your Christmas, plan out your holiday season. So if you've got, if you want to blow it on the office Christmas party and be like, you know what, I'm going to have one blowout, office Christmas party's it, no limits. Or if you've got a lot of parties to go to, if you're always like every other evening is like another party, set some ground rules or set some boundaries for yourself and stick to it. I, for example, I go to Italy for my uncle-in-law's. Yes, my uncle-in-law has a restaurant outside of Milan. And our family tradition is to go on the 24th. And I'm with my husband's family. There's like 30 Italians. It's like crazy fun. We eat like 10 courses. And for me, that meal is like one of the most special meals of the year. So I'm a little bit more open on that occasion to drinking and to eating things I wouldn't normally, as am I when my mother-in-law cooks a 1st of January New Year's meal, or my mother cooks Thanksgiving. So of my whole year, it's just a shame they all happen within 2 months of each other. In my whole year, I'll throw Easter in that as well. Easter's with my husband's family. So in my whole year, there were 4 meals that are like the meals that I'm like, yes, family, fun, gratitude, food, wine. And those are the 4 meals that I am like, you know what? Those are 4 meals a year. 4 meals a year, I can handle that. And then I'm more restrictive on the other things and the other invitations I get, because those don't quite have the same level of significance or importance to me. So I can be a bit more strict with myself through those meals. And I have a base level with my NutriBullets, breakfast and lunch, and a healthy dinner. I'm 360 days a year. I'm doing pretty well, and I'm managing a few other things, in between that. So really it's up to you to decide, how do you want your Christmas? How do you want to finish off the end of this year? Like, do you want to finish it off like celebrating? And you can celebrate without going nuts, by the way. You can celebrate without binge drinking. But just think, we've got another month left to this year. How amazing do you want to finish this year on? And how amazing do you want to start off next year? And how amazing will you feel if you start to implement some of these healthy tips and hints that I've given you here today? So I hope that has been valuable. I would love to answer any questions you might have. Post them in the Facebook group, send me an email, give me a call, whatever I can do to help you. And thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing Christmas season. Have an amazing New Year. We're going to have some exciting things coming up to help support you through next year in all of the amazing things that you're doing. And you are just beautiful. I am so honored and touched that you were here with me today. So happy holidays, happy New Year, happy life, and thank you very much.